So we're looking at the 1/100 Shokew Huangfeng knockoff. Got on AliExpress for about $25 Canadian. That's including shipping, so it goes for a little bit cheaper than that. Really interesting, cool kind of model here. Very simple. This is part of the 1/100 line. So it is basically a high grade, but just a little bit bigger at 1/100 scale. The funny thing there is that Victory suits are a lot smaller than other 1/100 suits due to technology getting smaller as the timeline goes on. Here you have your 1/100 Grandpa. I use this as a comparison for most 1/100s, and as you can see, this is a lot smaller. I can't even get it in frame with this guy. Just pan over a little bit so you get a better comparison. And yeah, significantly taller. So people like to talk about the merits or demerits of buying third-party kits, hurting the sales of the actual kits, or hurting the publisher. Personally, I'm more of the opinion that I'm not going to pat Bandai on the back. This is a pretty hard to get kit unless you buy a scalped old version. It hasn't been reprinted in quite some time, and I will just say, to get this genuine Canadian prices right now would probably be around $150 or so. And looking at this model for what it is, even being a knockoff, I would be quite disappointed paying that price for something like this. Even on the secondhand market. And this is a design that I like an awful lot, so that's saying something. Now, in the unboxing, I brought this up, and this is probably the biggest thing to note if you're going to buy this third-party kit, this bootleg kit, is this outer armor plastic is insanely squishy, insanely soft. A lot of the pegs had been crushed, or the connecting parts had been a little bit broken in transport. Right here you can see stress on the piece, which really typically wouldn't happen with Bandai pieces. There's literally whiteness from where it got bent from pressing against other runners. Now, if this is going to be your Shokew and this is all you're going to do to it, yeah, I would probably want to go and get that first-party kit, especially if it does get a reprint. But this is going to get painted, so for me, plastic quality, as long as it goes together and I can fill in seams and it's not breaking apart like even some official Bandai kits that I've gotten, then I don't really have a problem there. There are things that are a little bit inexcusable here. The hand piece is really... so it's a posable thumb, and then a few different options for how you want the four fingers, and those connectors to push this curved finger part, or any of the finger parts in, was mushy and really did not want to go in there. So getting this gun in the hand was quite hard, and there's no dedicated gun holding hand. So you kind of get the front four fingers that you have to jam in there and then pose the thumb itself over it to kind of keep it in place. No peg to put the gun into the palm or anything like that. But it does work at staying. I've seen other people say this kit's a bit wobbly. Mine is pretty sturdy. I'm shaking it around and, nothing's moving. I would say the one wobbly bit is this gimmick here, but I actually like that this isn't too tight. So this gimmick here on the official kit as well is this opens up, moves, and turns into a little blaster, which is cool. Now, I might be misremembering, but I believe on a review I saw for the official kit, it said that these red parts up here are stickers, which is crazy that they would color correct that and make these real red pieces, but cleaning up something this small, I kind of prefer that they were stickers and I could have just painted it red. yeah, those are very tough to clean up, something that tiny. As well as a yellow overhang and that hole on the yellow piece on the head. So that can easily be cut out with a hobby knife, but that is a bit crazy. Bandai wouldn't have let that fly. But posing feels good, it moves nice, and honestly, I can guarantee the outer armor on the Bandai kit does not feel like this. This is very matte, very soft, very cheap feeling plastic, but I kind of really dig it. It reminds me, I can't put my finger on it, but it reminds me a lot of like toys that I played with growing up, a specific you know, texture. I would have to really pull deep from my soul to think of like what toy specifically or toy line it's reminding me of, but it's very very nostalgic in a way, and I mean that is cool because Victory has a very muted color palette, not a lot of detail in the anime, intentionally so. And so for this to look kind of vintage is pretty cool in my opinion. The feet are cool because they almost remind me of some more modern designs, like the G-Quux in the newest Gundam series, where there's like you know, an inner foot and then almost like a hoof on the outside, or a horseshoe sort of style thing that's moving independently. And these are really big feet for comparatively to other Gundam feet. It's a big, you know, goofy style design. I really like this. So beam sabers do slot in here, and these are the very cheapy looking beam sabers. The very thick mold line going up the side of them, but that's very easily fixed. What's not so easily fixed is some of this intentional panel lining at the side that is mugged, and almost all these yellow pieces were undergated, but they were undergated where there's still, so there's, this is supposed to be a panel line and not go completely flush together, and there's a little like underneath ridge in there, and the nubs were overgated on top of that ridge, so that's some really weird cleanup. 1/100 kits, you know, even the most simple usually have a lot that they can do, or some things that they can do. And this really, other than the shoulder, it moves its arms, it moves its head, it moves its legs. But one thing I will note that I find a bit weird is on a typical, even a high grade, you know, a peg like this into an arm is not too uncommon. But this upper armor here, I'd imagine there being another piece or polycap that goes in there. Because this peg doesn't go all the way down in there, this just kind of like sits around this round edge here, and like so, just kind of like stays that way on trust, you know. You can turn it, but really any sort of downwards movement does pull it. Honestly, that was better than I thought, so. But do that 100 times over, right, and it will loosen. The only other really notable thing about this kit, red eyes you can swap to as well, and I figured I would just paint the eyes something different. As well as this option part for a sort of beam propeller. Now this just kind of clicks into the back of the wrist right there. And it's pretty tight to get that in there. And this is essentially a shield, and in the show, even they kind of goofily, well, see, that's kind of the ticket here, right? Like, you can barely get the iconic pose without messing up the whole shoulder, but yeah, it kind of just flies around like this, like a big goof, like a big goofball, and uses this propeller with its back of its arm. This is essentially just like a beam that's spinning really fast. But pretty cool. You can get some really nice poses with this, you know. you can get some good stuff going on. Now, weirdly, with with a kit that has a gimmick for a helicopter beam shield, no action-based thing anywhere. No action-based holes. So get out your drill and drill a 3mm hole, because yeah, I'm not sure if the official one has it or not. And honestly, there is that like connector for most action bases that could kind of like sit in the crotch here and like hold it up just with gravity. But yeah, a hole somewhere would be nice, maybe in the back or whatever. But that's, you know, if you're gonna display it that way. Honestly, I'm a big fan of this design, and right now with this kit not in print and Victory not being that popular, I would really say that for $20, I think this is quite worth it. Going anything above it, and for the quality that you're getting here and the amount of fixes that it does kind of need, maybe I wouldn't pull the trigger so easily. But when people, even my friend, have said horror stories of these Chinese knockoff kits, you know, yeah, there's some things not going together perfectly and some stuff crushed in the box, and, you know, you have to add some glue in some places, but this guy looks awesome for the price. Get some paint on him and he'll be even more awesome. And yeah, just hopefully to get ahead of any, you know, sort of bootlicking that happens in the response to this. Honestly, you know, I don't mind supporting Bandai. I'm not here advocating to, you know, steal designs or steal molds from people. But these kits exist, they're out on the market, and you really can't put that back in the box. And I think personally, you know, I will buy kits that interest me that are available in my hobby stores from Bandai. And the last year or two, honestly, for official releases has not been up my alley. So I've kind of finished my checklist of quite a few of my white whales. And other than the Turn X that's coming up in a reprint, and the Dendrobium from Stardust Memory, which is insanely hard to get. You know, now I'm looking into other avenues where I can get some designs I like that are kind of hard to get, or not so beloved, or don't even have official kits, right? So I don't think these sort of things are inexcusable. It just kind of means that you're a fan in a different way. And if you don't like buying knockoff kits because you don't think they're worth your money, or you don't want to support that, there's truly nothing wrong with that, and that's probably the better option, because you know, it's not a lot of money you're throwing away at the end of the day, but you could get something that truly does not go together, and you're left with a pile of spare parts for $15, which, you know, my friend got into Warhammer recently, and spare parts for $15 does sound pretty good. So, you know, I'll take the plastic. So I don't really do kit reviews. I'm not looking to do a bunch of out-of-the-box kit reviews. My focus is mostly painting and customization adjacent stuff. But I do think that it's important to be aware that these sort of products are out on the market, that they're getting pretty good, and that if you do want something to throw some paint on for pretty cheap, and you are a little bit morally bankrupt, then why not go on AliExpress and pick up a cheap model kit? My plans personally for this guy are to try out airbrushing him. I got my airbrush booth in. That's where I got this little turny thing, so that helps cover up my mark of where I'm putting my Gundams down. Little how the sausage is made there. But I think this adds a little fun thing for me to fiddle with, instead of just leaving the model sitting or picking it up with my grubby hands all the time. So I'm probably not going to do much airbrushing specific content, because I'm still figuring out how it's going to work myself, and I still have a few other things to set up before I actually get paint on plastic, but I do have a few other things that I'm working on in the pipeline. And I have those knockoff Barbatos claws that I'm going to build into a series and weather that NGSD Barbatos. I think it would be fun to like live stream building the claws one night, but the only option for me to do any sort of live stuff is when my kids are in bed late at night. So if anyone wants to tune into some late night live stream builds for like an hour after my kids are in bed, let me know, or maybe I'll make a poll or something. But yeah, I think that could be fun. So I'd recommend that you buy this kit if you like the design. I wouldn't recommend you buy the kit at a scalped price or MSRP kit, because this is a very actually basic kit. It went together very fast, and it's very simple. I would also recommend don't watch Victory Gundam. All right, take care. Bye.